tradition.
When winning is a tradition. And when this is our year, is every year. Dynasties are brewing.
Adams State with 5 in. They've done it once more.
Growing.
3 in the top 8. Unbelievable performance for the Lumberjacks.
Flourishing.
That's 5. Johns Hopkins is going to win the title.
Really have a tight team battle here.
What will it take to knock the Kings off their thrones?
Wow, North Central, what a run. Almost definitely team title number 18 coming in there.
To put an end to their reign. It's 30 versus 1. Who will wear the crown? The dynasties are on the line.
Keep moving, you have runners coming in behind you. Keep moving, you have runners coming in behind you. Keep coming.
We are on site at the Thomas Zimmer Championship Cross Country Course. It's the home of the Wisconsin Badgers and the site of the 2018 NCAA Division I Cross Country Championships. I'm Ryan Fenton alongside Gordon Mack and Kevin Sully, and you're here joining us live at the FloXC Race Day show presented by Under Armour. Guys, it's the first time Cross Country Championships have been in Madison in 40 years. And how you guys feeling? They're welcoming us with this nice weather today.
Well, feeling a little chilly. Got 5 layers on top, 3 layers of pants. Got the gloves, hand warmers. I'm cold. That's how I'm feeling.
They rolled out the white carpet for us.
That's
Ryan
right.
And Gordon, very appreciative. We've been here now 3 times. This is the coldest of the 3, but it's only fitting that today is the biggest, the most important, and an added element into this national championship. Excited to be here.
A great added element, and as you get ready for a full day of action, you'll be live with us for nearly 2 hours before the races get underway, and we'll take a look at our schedule today, as there's a lot of cross country actually here in Wisconsin all over. Well, 10:45 a.m. Central Time, you'll have the women's Division I 6K championship. The men here will follow at 11:45 for the 10K. But not just down the road a little ways in Oshkosh, you'll have the women's Division III championship at 11:15. So in between the D1 races here, and then we'll close out the day on FloTrack with championship coverage at the men's Division III 8K championships at 12:15. So a lot of action, and we're talking a little bit about the weather, the white carpet. The snow graced us with its presence this morning, and right now, 29 degrees roughly, feel of 26 it says, and about an 8-mile-an-hour wind. So first time for cross-country championships at this course, and welcoming it nicely, Gordon.
Yeah, and the first time for snow on the course in almost 30 years. Like last time was in the 1980s when we had snow in cross-country. We actually called Terre Haute. They never had snow, but they do in Madison.
So a lot of, a short, rich history here at the Thomas Zimmer Championship Cross Country Course. We talked to the course's namesake earlier today. He said 14 years they've been waiting for this day to host the championship.
Yeah, that's right. You look at the history of the Thomas Zimmer Championship course. It's a really short history because this course opened up in 2009, so it's not even 10 years old, and they are hosting the NCAA championships. In fact, this is the 30th collegiate meet held here at this course, so it takes 30 meets to get an NCAAs, and they did it. And they actually redesigned the course. The course is a little different from what it's been the past 9 years. They changed the 6K, changed the 10K, make it more fan-friendly, and you'll see that during the broadcast when we get to see all the angles and fans running back and forth all over the course. And you got to look at those course records. There's some big names there. Ali Ostrander, who actually is here, holds the 6K course record. She could see her record get broken, maybe by her, maybe by someone else. And Laui Lang, 8K course record holder. And John Muscari, 10K course record holder.
I wonder with the conditions if that 10K course record will go down. Kevin, we talked to Thomas Zimmer this morning. Anything that you took from him telling us about the kind of evolution to get here?
Well, just the meticulous nature and how it was a byproduct of years and years of work, not just by him, but the whole Wisconsin athletic department. Very interesting story. He comes out here and takes walks and prunes up the branches.
Every day, he said.
And they're out of order, and it's meticulous. You're not going to get to see a lot of it today, at least in the beginning, because it's going to be covered in white. But it's a true course, too. We should mention that. This isn't just a manicured golf course where you run down fairways. There are a lot of hills, and it is going to be a very, very competitive, deep, interesting race today.
And this course is very familiar to not just Wisconsin, but to a lot of these teams because they've come here for Nuttycombe over the years, pre-nats this year. We actually spoke with BYU head coach Ed Eyestone, who has been on this course multiple times, and he gave us a little take of what he thought of this new championship redesigned courses like at the Thomas Zimmer. We actually spoke to him at pre-nats, and we'll see what he said on his thoughts on this course.
I don't know that there's a lot not to like about this course here. I think Wisconsin's done a beautiful job setting this thing up. It's got some definitely challenging hills in it, and I feel like we should come into it pretty well prepared. We've been running hills a little bit. I think you're just going to have to be careful because 10K on this course, you're going to feel it over the last mile in particular, especially when you're hitting the big hills 3 times.
And this is the hard part. This is that hill. It's a long hill, and the team's got to do it 4 times when it comes to the 10K.
Your true 5K, 10K guys are going to do well. I like our chances because we have a lot of good 5K, 10K guys.
There's just 2K to go now. Mance continuing to hold the lead. There you see some team score updates.
I think Louisville was a little bit more of a speed course than this one. I think this has some of the same things that we see from Terre Haute in terms of the hills and the strength required to run it. And Terre Haute can get pretty nasty and muddy when the weather deteriorates. But all in all, cross country comes down to, especially the national meet, it's 10K. You got to be strong, you got to persevere. You have to have timed things right.
Here we go. Kick is on.
We've come here the one time, so we definitely want to get a good run through. Most of my guys have been here in years past, but since they've changed it and it no longer has the fingers going back and forth on the inside, I think it makes it maybe a little bit tougher of a course because you're navigating those hills numerous times.
BYU cream is rising to the top.
I told the guys jokingly maybe 4 or 5 years ago, so I said, you live a good life, you treat your wife and family the way they should be treated. When you die, you go and you run on a course like this. So I think in a way this is kind of a heaven in terms of cross-country runners. If you don't like this course, then you're not a true cross-country runner.
So a little insight there from one of the top coaches in the NCAA. The BYU men ranked 2nd today, trying to upset out here. But we want to turn to a guest we have joining us here in the studio. Will join us for the broadcast here today. It's a 7-time NCAA champion, the first male or female to from the Ivy League to win this race, this championship race, and 2016 5K Olympian for the U.S. I want to introduce Abby, formerly D'Agostino, now Abby Cooper.
Yes.
Welcome, Abby. How you doing? What's it like to be back here at NCAA?
Oh, it's so good to be here. I mean, truly, I am feeling the pre-race nerves that are so familiar. This was always one of my favorite events of the year, track and cross country. So to just be back in true, cross gritty conditions is really special.
You have a background of training up in the Northeast, so you're used to these type of conditions out there in Dartmouth. How do you prepare for races and competitions when you're dealing with these type of elements, the cold, the wet, the snow? How did you deal with that as an athlete?
Yeah, I mean, it's just really easy to have all these kind of irrational fears in this weather. It's just weather. Everyone runs in the same, you hear these things all the time, but those little quips are true, like it's just a great equalizer, and it makes it a really, that much more of an adventure type of real cross-country race. So I think it's exciting.
When we were at the press conference yesterday, a lot of coaches and athletes are downplaying the pressure. As someone who's been in this position, how high stakes does it feel the last couple hours before? It's not like track where you have a lot of races in throughout and you can get your feet wet through the rounds. This is a one-shot deal. Mm-hmm. How'd you manage that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the same thing applies. As you would mentally prepare for the weather, you mentally prepare that, hey, this may be a higher pressure situation, but nothing different needs to happen. You know that your fitness accumulates and helps you to deliver on the day you need to deliver. So just remembering those things and not doing anything, not changing your routine, just doing what you're already proven capable of doing.
Mm-hmm. Abby, I wanted to ask you, you had some pretty solid consistency at this event. 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. in the press conference yesterday, a lot of people talked about that championship experience and how valuable that was. What was that like for you, and how were you so consistent at this event specifically?
Yeah, I think the key was just patience. There were actually a couple years where there'd be that front runner who got out early and was kind of a solo show out there, and Coach and I would always talk about just energy conservation throughout the whole race, and keeping obviously your eyes aware of any moves that are happening, but just knowing don't go until about 2K.
Are you excited just to be here in general? I mean, your team's here.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I was stoked to find out the Lone Pine ladies, as we affectionately call them, will be here and just repping. That was just such a special memory for me, my senior year when we were all here. So it's cool to see that tradition continuing.
I want to ask you about this. We talked a little about this course and some of its history. You ran here a number of times. What do you remember about it? And anything that the athletes should be keeping in mind today?
Yeah. I was actually jogging it yesterday too, and kind of literally jogging my memory. It is hillier than I remember. So as I said, just energy conservation is really important. Just knowing, kind of running, visualizing before the race, knowing where those hills come in and how you're going to approach them, and just ease into them, and and being ready to grind with 2K, 1K to go, and just staying awake, being aware of those moves.
Nice. One other thing that you got to experience, you ran here as an individual. Mm-hmm. You also got to run here, and I think won when you were here with your team. What was it like, those two different experiences?
Yeah, I mean, they both support one another, truly. And not that I had, as you said, experiences competing as an individual too, but there really just is a sense of motivation and depth that comes from knowing your teammates are, literally behind you and working hard at the exact same time, just as it would be, in training. So that's a special experience for those who are part of a team here today.
Any thoughts on what the snow is going to do to this race?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I wasn't sure if you were pointing that at somebody else. The course actually, there's a dusting on the ground, but they got those long spikes. They're going to be fine out there today. Like I said, it just makes the hype, that much more exciting, knowing that it's true cross-country conditions.
It is very true cross-country conditions, and we will get more in depth with this women's team and individual race. But first, let's take a look back at this 2018 season.
We are underway here at the 2018 Nutty Comb Wisconsin Invitational.
The who's who of NCAA cross-country are here.
This will be a big upset for Alicia Monson as the crowd is now getting into it.
It is Monson now to the lead. Kaladi, can she hold on? Your winner, Alicia Monson. The Badger magic is real.
And Alicia, did you see that coming?
Honestly, no.
Colorado, the number 2 team, wins it. Boise State, the number 5 team, takes second. And the number 1 team, the defending champions, take third.
But Jessica Hull of Oregon is going to take this race and make a statement.
Since that January, I was getting so much stronger in the aerobic side, so I'm just starting to see it come together in races now.
Arkansas gets the win, 51 to Oregon 71. Arkansas looks to be the team story of the day.
This is a statement race here for these 3 women. They want to show that, hey, I am the one to beat at NCAA's.
Wayne Kaladi really putting her imprint on this race, Gordon.
New Mexico, 67 points to Michigan, upsetting Stanford.
Wayne Kaladi takes the individual title here.
And credit here goes to Roberts, because this is, again, a gutsy move. Monson once again proves that she is going to be a star this year, throws up the W and gets the win.
Logue is closing, and it's getting closer and closer. We could see an upset here.
My coach said before the race that there's this time, you kind of call it the moment of truth, where you're hurting, but you want to see if you can dig deeper for your team. And I was like, this is my moment of truth, and I'm going to go for it.
This is incredible.
Upset City.
I can't believe it.
She's just being an NCAA 10K champion.
Yes.
And they're underway at the Great Lakes Regional. Anna Rohr, Alicia Monson, 1-2 as they approach the last straightaway where this championship will be decided. But it's not going to be a question. Alicia Monson, your regional champion.
And there we have Wayne Kaladi out front, our leader. really putting on a bit of a clinic here. Here comes Enda Kurgat. The New Mexico Lobos here going to get that first automatic qualifier bid, winning over Colorado.
Allie Ostrander of Boise State is going to take this West Regional. As you mentioned, second returner coming back, but all the conversation's been about Kurgat, been about Kaladi, been about Hull, been about Danny Jones, but don't forget about this woman, the junior from Boise State, Allie Ostrander, going to cross the line, take the victory in this West Regional. Big run for her, a statement to the rest of the NCAA that you cannot forget about Ostrander.
A close battle there on the team side between Oregon and Boise State. 5 points separate them.
What does this team need to do to stop having these close finishes, these close seconds? What needs to happen by next Saturday?
You know, I think all the work is done. All we have to do is go out there and battle again.
So a great recap of the 2018 women's cross-country season as we're here to actually put it all on the line and find out a lot of answers today. Some of the big stories, you have returning champs in New Mexico women and even in the individual side with Enda Kurgat, also from New Mexico. But a lot of folks on those videos we just saw that raise many questions, some dying questions out there for us. And guys, I want to throw it to you. What if you had a dying question out there to answer today, what would that be, Gordon? We'll start with you.
My dying question is, how does the New Mexico duo of Wayne Kaladi and Enda Kurgat approach the race? I really want to know, like, are they going to compete against each other? Are they going to work with each other? Are they going to be like, hey, on your own? But you think they don't train together. They do train together, but they do every workout separately. I was there doing watching them do a workout, and they have their own training partners. They do the exact same workout, but they're staggered by 30 seconds. So I'm excited to see how they approach this race.
My burning question, it's on the topic of New Mexico, but it's on the team race. Do they have a 5 that can come through? It's great to have Kurgat. It's great to have Kaladi. Charlotte Prowse, those 3 make up the undisputed best trio in this race. But it takes 5 to score. They've had 3 different women fill that role throughout the year. I think a key number to watch is about 80 seconds. If they can keep the gap from 1 to 5 under 80 seconds, they'll be sitting pretty. Anything above that gets problematic. Last year they were at 77. Cut it close. They won by 15 points, but you know how deep this race is, right? 15 points can be 10 seconds, right? So New Mexico's 5, I think, is going to tell the story of this women's race.
Abby, how about you?
Dying question. Will Alicia Monson pull off another surprise?
The hometown
here?
hero.
Exactly. I'm feeling it. I feel like there's something, the way that she looks when she's racing, she looks composed. Even through to the regional, she just feels like she's timing it the right way. And there's something to be said for knowing the course intimately. She's not just here for races, she's here for workouts. I think she's going to have a great day.
She also has a lot of support, a lot of Wisconsin alumni here. She mentioned yesterday in the press conference her family's coming. Her mom has 10 siblings. That'll all be here, so a lot of cheering you'll hear for her. My dying question kind of goes along with some of the things you were talking about, Kevin, but not specifically just about New Mexico, but there's about 6 women's teams in contention. My question is, how tight will these packs be between the first 5 runners? When you look at Colorado, Oregon, Boise State, even Arkansas and Villanova, all their packs have averaged around 45 to 55 seconds throughout the year, where New Mexico has been at a minute 22. You said a minute 20 is that magic number, so they got to be under that. So how tight will those packs be, and how was that going to shape things up? So we're going to find that out soon. Continuing on with a little bit with New Mexico, again, the favorites coming in to defend their title, you got to start thinking, if they win today, it's 3 and 4 years. Is this a dynasty? Are we looking at a team that's building a dynasty around what they've done these last few years?
Yeah, well, if you look at their history, Joe Franklin's been with this team for 12 years, and now he's putting this team in their peak position in the past 3 to 4 years. You look at 2014 was probably was when they started to get the podium for the first time, but then 15, that team in 15 scored 49 points, I believe. Unreal. They were dominating. Their 5th woman was in the top 25. And then, obviously, 2 years ago, they had a little off year, but last year, they won it again over San Francisco, and they're poised to win it again this year. They're the number 1 ranked team, and I think if they win, they will be a dynasty.
I think when you talk about dynasties, you're talking about something that's built to last, right? So if they do pull it off this year. It's 3 and 4 years. It's sort of spanned different top runners, right? It's not just you're doing it on the back of like 1 or 2 athletes. And you also have to think if they do it this year, what's stopping them next year? Kaladi, Kurgat, Prowse will graduate. Advocohen's only going to be better next year. She's just a sophomore. They'll be able to find somebody to plug in the back half of that lineup. If they win this year, I think you could be looking at them going in again next year, and we're having the same conversation about 4 and 5 years.
Yeah, if Advocohen finishes in the top 15, next year it's going to be like, wow, they're going to have 3 in the top 5. Like, because Kaladi and Kurgat are here to stay, and Kaladi's, we'll talk about her later, but she's running out of her mind, and she's only a sophomore, so.
I completely agree with you guys. I think it's not, the conversation isn't just about this year. It's about how it builds momentum for the next years. And I agree. You know, I remember from my just an in-conference experience, Princeton was that team. You know, they were so dominant when I, you know, especially in my early years. And once they have that kind of team synergy and, you know, they're recruiting that level of athlete, it's really hard to break that. So I'm excited to see how that turns out today.
And it's been a while since we've seen a real dynasty on the women's side. I think probably maybe think back to the Stanford teams from the late 90s there. So it'll be fun to watch it and see what happens. But you know, I mentioned a few of the teams in contention. I want to play a fun game here. We're gonna do a little activity called Buy or Sell, and we're gonna look at some of the teams that are favorite contenders for the championship today to actually dethrone the Lobos and keep them away from that dynasty. And the first team I want to take a look at is the team that was first in the West region. They were the Pac-12 champs. They're led by senior Jessica Hull. Guys, Oregon, buying or selling today on a possible upset?
Gordon's still working on his, but I'll hold mine up. Am I holding it this way?
All right, what do we got here?
I don't know if you can see mine.
Kevin, we'll start at your end, work down.
Well, I like Hull as a very, very low stick, and then that group behind him. You know, Veronica Pajek was 5th last year, and if she's anywhere near that, they're in a good position. Susan Ajore, 1,500, 800-meter runner outdoors, has been running out of her mind completely. She was just behind Hull at region, just behind them, her and Pajek at Pac-12s. They have a really, really tight pack. I would add something here. I would add a Sun, because they've been mostly running
I don't know if they can catch
in the
that
warm
over
weather. It's a terrible rendering. I think that could be the one thing that spells them, but I like it.
It's why I'm selling. It's the winter.
Oh, okay.
It's the weather. I don't think Oregon's ready for it. I think, you know, two of the star athletes who transferred from San Francisco, we're not in San Francisco right now. We are in the Midwest, and so I am selling.
Going with a buy. Yeah, I'm with Kevin on this one. I really think
time to invest.
They just looked strong, and it looked like they had a lot left in the tank. Just watching their composure in the regional meet, so I think they're going to be in contention today.
Nice. All right, next team we're going to take a look at the Nutty Comb champions here at this course this year. They were 2nd in the Pac-12 behind Oregon, 2nd in the Mountain Region, and led by the speedster and senior Danny Jones. The Colorado women crew, buy or sell?
I wrote buy.
Is this an
NSYNC
song?
That's a lot.
Gordon throwing it back.
Mark Wetmore. That guy knows what he's doing. He's going to get these women ready to go. They have a lot of experience. They're senior heavy. Got to buy it. This is Colorado weather for them to take it. I think if it was a nice, crisp day, 50 degrees, I wouldn't be buying Colorado. But this gave Colorado that eighth woman.
I think they're definitely on the podium, but when you're talking about challenging New Mexico, I'm selling. They have Danny Jones, which is awesome. McKenna Morley, I think, is going to be a surprise. I could see her in the top 10, but there's just a little bit of a drop-off there. Sage Herta, we don't know the status of her. She was really, really strong at Nuttycombe, but hasn't raced every race the back half and was in the 20s at Pac-12. So I think there might be a gap between 2 and 3. That will just be enough to push them outside of contending for the win, but I do like them for the podium.
I think you're challenging Kevin on the artwork here.
Oh.
Yeah, got some mountaintops.
Well, you went to Ivy League.
Snow-capped mountaintops in the background. Yeah, big buy on these guys. I think this is where they come alive, this type of weather. And, yeah, again, they usually time it just right. So, feeling it.
All right, the next group, winner in their race at Pre-Nats, the SEC champs and South Central Region champs. They are led by a fearless freshman.
Yeah.
Freshman, I should say, Katrina Robinson. Guys, Arkansas women, we buying, we selling?
I'm buying. I like the fearlessness factor, and it's not like they're relying wholly on Katrina Robinson. This team is deep. Villanova, Schwerner. I mean, Werner, it goes beyond those ones. And Lance Harder came to Prenat specifically so they could get experience in the cold weather. It wasn't as cold as this because he said it doesn't get cold in Arkansas, and he said that their SEC meet was in the warm weather. I like that. I like that factor, so I'm buying Arkansas. Okay.
I'm selling, and I put the number 5 as a money sign because they don't have a 5th. So I'm
do it.
selling. They don't have a 5th. I'm selling.
Also selling. Not to undermine the quality of that team. I just think when you stack them up against, Oregon, Colorado, New Mexico, I don't know that they're the team I'd pick to really be vying for that title.
All right, next one on the list, kind of a little bit of an unknown, I'd say. You got the Big East champ this year, Mid-Atlantic champ. I think they were 4th earlier this season here at Nuttycombe. So Villanova women out of the Mid-Atlantic. What are we thinking? They've had 3 different number 1s throughout this season. Kevin?
I am selling Villanova. The 3 different number 1s is good, but it's also bad because you never know exactly what you're going to get. And the 3 are pretty solid. I mean, Rachel MacArthur had the best race of her career winning Mid-Atlantic. Carolina Corda.
You're not selling. We're
Nicole
buying.
Hutchinson.
We're buying.
No, we're selling.
And the reason why we're buying.
Two freshmen at the back end. I know I just said Katrina Robinson, freshman. I like the fearlessness. But to count on your freshmen for 4 and 5, that's a tough ask.
This is the thing you buy. You always buy the team no one's watching. And no one's watching Villanova, but I am. And that's why I'm buying. I'm going to be the Wolf of Wall Street here after this because I'm going to make a lot of money because I'm buying Villanova.
I'm selling this one. And honestly, I'm thinking here, I don't know if this is quite founded. I think I'm maybe having flashbacks to 2013 when I was here. Emily Lipari was, on my shoulder the whole race. So still bitter.
I like it. Exacting personal grievances.
There you go. No shame.
Another next team and final team we'll look at here, second at Nuttycombe. They were second in the Mountain Region, led by a woman with a ton of experience at this level, Allie Ostrander, the redshirt junior. Boise State, buy or sell? And oh gosh,
well,
I think we have an. I don't even know if is that allowed, Kevin.
I'm buying. I didn't think I'd be the most optimistic one up on this panel, but apparently I am. You know what you're going to get with Allie Ostrander. You know she's going to be in the top 5, but the 2 through 5 for Boise State is really, really strong. And the fewer questions you have, the more I like you. I think they could actually contend. They don't need that many things to go crazy in this race for them to leave with the trophy.
I'm push. That's not a thing for buy or sell. But I don't want to buy it.
Making his own rules.
I don't want to sell it. I just want to leave it on the counter.
Okay.
Because I think they're going to be really good next year. I think Boise State, obviously, Alio's going to return. They have a really good freshman coming in. International, I forget her name, but she's really good.
Are you putting this on layaway?
I'm putting it on layaway. I'm buying in 2019. Buying in 2019.
Again, I feel like I'm surprised at my pessimism too, but I'm selling these guys. I don't think Allie's obviously super strong up front, but I don't know if I feel they're gonna really just be able to compete with those top 3 up there today. So we'll see.
All right, buy or sell is in the books. You've heard it from the experts here. We looked at teams. Now I want to take a little look at some of the individuals that are in contention up front. We mentioned Edna Kurgat is the defending NCAA champion. She was undefeated a year ago. Not the same resume this year. And as we talk about resumes, there's a few we want to take a look at, and we'll look at some blind resumes. Abby, I'm going to throw it to you and have you take a look at these resumes. And is there anything that stands out before you maybe know who we're talking about? Anything that impresses you with the resumes so far this season?
Yeah, I'm eyeing the far right.
Far right, okay.
Far right.
4th last year, 8-time NCAA All-American, 15-20 PB. So you're going far right. All right.
Yeah, I'm going far right.
All right.
Well,
I want to reveal some of these ladies, 4 contenders in the blind resume, and there you go.
Allie-O.
Allie-O. My girl Allie-O.
You just mentioned her. You sold the team, but you like the individual. Kevin, 4 of the top we've seen all year. What are your thoughts here?
Well, what jumps out to me there, look at the discrepancy in 5,000-meter PRs between Alicia Monson, Wayne Kaladi, and Edna Kurgat. And Allie-O mostly focuses on the steeplechase. Otherwise, I think her PR would be right down there. But that just shows you what a huge leap she's made this year. Alicia Monson has never finished in the top 10 in any NCAA championship, and now she's in this race with a chance to win. Anybody who thought that Nuttycombe win was a fluke or an aberration, she backed that up at Big Tens. She backed it up at Great Lakes. So it just goes to show you how much can change over a summer.
I mean, I just believe that Edna Kurgat and Wayne Kaladi are just so much better than the rest. I think that they are the co-favorites. I think that Monson, she's great. She's going to finish top 10. I think Alio is going to continue to be a top 5 runner. I feel bad for Alio in a way because Alio, she's always, she got second as a freshman, got hurt the next year, and then the Kurgat comes in and dominates. Now Winnie Kaladi's here. But maybe Alio gets it in 2019 when I'm pushing for them. So.
Yeah, I think it's fuel for her fire. I think she's just had an upward trajectory this whole season. She was 5th at Nuttycombe and then 4th at regional. So I think she's ready to go when it counts.
Who's off this list? Who wasn't shown that people should be eyeing?
Well, obviously, we talked about Danny Jones leading the way for Colorado. You have Jessica Hull of Oregon. And then if you go deeper in someone like Dorcas Wasike, she was 2nd in the 10,000 outdoors. She doesn't get a lot of recognition just because she doesn't run for one of those programs that has a team here and racks up a bunch of high-profile wins. So keep an eye on those ones.
So other thing we like to talk about is the newcomers to this event. And running here your first time is always a treat. And when you get here as a freshman, it can be a mixed bag of experience. But some very strong freshmen out here today. We mentioned one from Arkansas earlier, but Kevin, give us a couple top froshes to look for today.
Yeah, so Katrina Robinson, let's start with her route here. Born in Austin, Texas, moves to Australia, lives there, but represents New Zealand internationally because one of her parents is from there. Competed in the U20 1500 over the summer and has been running lights out this year. In the beginning, we're like, man, she won Chili Pepper comfortably, but then she comes to Nuttycombe. Pre-nats, she was dueling with Jessica Hull. She is absolutely showing no signs of being a freshman. Got to like her in this race. And Julia Patternan of Penn State hasn't had the high-profile results of Katrina Robinson this year. 30th at Nuttycombe, 10th at Big Ten. In any other year, you might be like, oh, this is the freshman to watch. But Katrina Robinson is running so well that it overshadows a lot of what these other women are doing.
Yeah, Julia Patterson of Penn State, she's run very well. After Julia Patterson, you have to look at Ann Forsyth of Michigan. Ann Forsyth, she came on late in the season, didn't pull the red shirt until late. She ran
Big Tens.
Big Tens. She was 8th at Big Tens, 2nd for Michigan, 3rd at Great Lakes. Against Patterson, there you see on the screen Julia Patterson, but Ann Forsyth of Michigan was, the best freshman at Big Tens against Julia Patterson. And then outside of Big Ten, you got to look to Haley Herberg of Oklahoma, the California State champ. She was 3rd at Big 12s. She led a big portion of it against Callie Logue and Sharon Lochetti. She was 5th at Midwest. So Haley Herberg of Oklahoma, she's also a fresh rush.
Well, and with Ann Forsyth there, she's running 2nd on a really strong, experienced Michigan team. You have a lot of 6-years there with Avery Evanson, Hannah Meyer, Claire Borchers. You got a Baylor transfer there, Anna West. That's a strong team, and she's running at the front of that pack. Now, watch out for Michigan overall. They've been really under the radar this year.
Abby, I want to ask you, being a freshman in the NCAA and trying to make this meet, and for the athletes that do make this meet, what's that like? How tough is that in that transition your first year?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's incredible. I think, the fact that they're here, just competing at this level that first year. I remember just trying to get my feet under me, period. My freshman fall, I actually had an injury, did come back to run the conference meet, which somewhat regretting now, but to have that extra eligibility would have been fantastic. But yeah, I really just think this is a feather in their cap that they're here and just have the opportunity to compete and not have the pressure and high stakes on them today.
Knowing the caliber of this race and what it means just in terms of the college landscape, a freshman that's, say, an All-American here, let alone a top 10 or 15 finish. What does that set them up for in their NCAA career?
Yeah, oh my gosh, you just keep building from there. I mean, if you can apply, if you have the strength to be top 40 today, I mean, that just that means a lot for you down the road. That strength is going to carry right over to the track season. And then, you stay healthy and it just builds into the years beyond. So, that would be a big accomplishment for these young women.
And you know what? Not everyone takes the same path. Abby, you didn't make it, but you were an NCAA
champ.
So there's hope for everybody.
Exactly.
I like it.
Absolutely.
Well, Abby, we thank you for joining us. Abby's going to join us again later in the show. We're going to get your picks before the races get underway. But now, a little treat for everyone out there watching. An inside look at some of the workouts and the prep that some of the top teams took to get here. You'll have a look at the New Mexico women out there in Albuquerque, and even a visit up with last year's runner-up team, the Portland Pilots, up there in Oregon. So we'll be back here in about 20 minutes to get more into the men's race.
It's the first workout of the year. It'll be a mixture of 400s and Ks and 400s, or 400s miles and 400s, just depending upon the group and where they are. We have an idea of what we're going to do, but we'll talk to people to see how they feel, see how their legs feel. It was a pretty intense race this last weekend, so we need to adjust accordingly. Adva, Hannah, and Alondra will do 400K, 400. Charlotte will probably do 400 mile, 400. Edna and Wayne will decide. Last year they were coming off some illness, so we adjusted the workout on the day of. So we'll see how it goes once I talk to everybody. You can only create intensity every now and then, and our philosophy is not to push too much, be controlled within yourself. So we'll have people out on bikes. We'll have probably 7 different groups. We'll have people split up, some people running alone. It's just to make sure people are running within themselves. Good morning. How are you? Good. You guys look great. Good job, you guys. Okay, you got about 25 seconds.
It was good. I mean, coming off of a race weekend and then big long run on Sunday, you know, the legs never feel perfect, but it was good, yeah. Just another step in the right direction, and we've only been on the track for this is the second time doing a real workout, so just trying to build every week and staying in it and staying focused, so yeah, it was good.
Good job. Awesome. Awesome.
Okay, after Wisconsin, we recovered and we did a workout, so I feel okay. We just growing a little up, and I just came before 1 month, so it's a little bit we growing.
Good. Good job. Got a minute rest. $75.
Good.
I think it was a good session. This was the second hour workouts. And feels really good and smooth workout. Always when you train hard, you expect to do well. Like this is what we're working for, to perform very well, like every races. So when I run, I just like, I try my best.
I feel good after last weekend's meet. Kind of opened my body up for the workouts. Reflecting back on training, I can say I'm in a much better position compared to last year, since I've been doing a lot of weight training, and fitness-wise, I can say I'm much better compared to last year. But we'll see, every season is different, and it comes with different challenges, you know.
We had some kids doing some different things than last year, still very similar, but it was just what we expected for the first real session of the year. We're in a good spot. We're in a happy place. We had some people run extremely well today, because it's the first time we've pushed, and you come off Wisconsin, which have a big effort there, and we have the long run on Sunday. So we've essentially had every other day hard. Now we're gonna back off a little bit till Friday. But it was exceptional today.
Let's go. Time to get in shape. Are we waiting for somebody? Go ahead, we'll meet you down there.
98, 99.
100 cone, always got to have it. Make sure people run pace. Very important trick of the trade. It's a little unusual. We're on a Saturday morning. We don't normally work out on Saturday mornings. Everything will be Tuesday or Friday. But because of the meet yesterday, I didn't want to rush the guys or have them go by themselves. So fairly important workout that I'd like to watch. We're just right up the street from school at the Columbia Park Annex. We got a bigger Columbia Park over here. We use that for a little bit longer stuff. We can do anything from 400 to 1,000 here fairly safely. So we're gonna run some thousands today. This will be our first sort of speed work for the year. Our cycle is mainly longer, grinding tempo like you saw, that's not fast, broken tempo, short tempo, okay? Then when we come up to a race about a week before, then I like to throw in something sort of at race pace. So not a lot of speed work, mainly endurance on endurance, and then a little primer for the race that's the next week. So that's what we got today, even though we're closer to the race than I'd like to be, probably. Since it's only 6 days till the race, we'll probably go 6 to 8 of these. No, I don't think we'll cut down. If we had an extra day or so, I'd maybe let them get a little bit aggressive, but I think today I'm gonna kind of cross my fingers and say 255-ish. This isn't super fast either, so we'll see. No, you think you're all right with 255-ish? Try not to go faster than 255, but somewhere around there? Yeah. Is that all right? Okay. Yeah. I usually break the groups by ability level, so we'll probably have a 255-ish group, and then the next group might be, 302, and the last group maybe more like 307, something like that. Okay. 8. I just kind of chickened out since we got one less day on this side of the week, and then the race is on Friday, so it's one less on this side. So, yeah. So we're not going to go hard. That's part of the reason to keep it controlled. All right. I would love to see us run together today. Again, not have anybody get blown up or thrown off the back. I'd love if you're racing next Friday, at least do 6, even if you're coming off a sickness or whatever you got. Everybody else trying for 8 for sure, okay? But I don't want to go too hard. We have one less day on the front end and then one less day on the back end till the race. So we got to keep it a little bit controlled, okay? So, all right, group 1 up here, somewhere around 70-ish, okay? Not too worried about it. Let's go, because of the footing and stuff, let's go single file and just take turns. Is that all right? You want to lead the first one?
I prefer next one.
Okay, Noah. Noah's good at leading. So why don't we just get in the single file line, just jump in somewhere behind.
Who are we trying to hit?
About 70-ish.
Single file?
Is that all right?
What is that?
255. I mean, if Noah starts us out a little bit slower than that, that's fine. Not too worried about it.
Everyone ready?
Yep, all right. Okay, so let's say we're going for 75 pace to start it out. And then you guys can edge it down as you want, but not too hard, all right?
2, 1.
Who's got a watch in this group? You can tell me the time each time? Okay, let's start out at 3:12-ish, okay? All right, go ahead. Take it easy. $69. Good job, guys. It's not super fast course, so just run it. $256. Is that a shock to the system? No? Okay. That's the warm-up. A little quick. Manu can't help himself. He has to go fast. That's all he's got. Good job, Manu. Stay on top of your breathing. 68. Manu, I saw him pull back because he just couldn't help himself. 253. A little quick. Yeah. I guess that was all in the first quarter, but oh well. I was hoping 56 for the first one. But I just don't want anybody to blow up here. I want a conservative workout, you know? Okay, no faster. Just try to pull that back just a notch.
5, 3.
Working together, staying on the train. Watching your footing, Stuart. Watching your footing. Nice job, Caleb. 254. Be patient with your mind, guys. Be patient. One at a time. Okay, great job. Good job so far. Whatever the leader runs, you just tag along behind him. Let him dictate how he's feeling and what he's doing. You're just running his pace, okay? Run strong, run strong, run strong. Nice job. Okay, second half, we're stronger mentally. We're not necessarily running faster, but we're tighter, okay? More specific. Can still be 255, that's great, but concentrating, not making these next two the two weakest ones, okay? Working together, working together. I like to have a new guy lead each rep and then run single file. I picked up that up from kind of like watching these pro guys in videos, Salazar's group and Jerry's group. You can do more work if you're not leading them all. Stay in your space. A lot of times a #1 man has to lead the whole workout. I've always told people we're gonna get maximum amount of work done as easily as possible. 253. So far, so good. Yeah, the nervous thing is the big last workout before the big meet next week, and all of a sudden somebody not feeling good or sick or something like that. So I think hopefully we're clearing that hurdle right now. Okay, is anybody gonna change shoes after this one? Yeah. Okay, so you guys maybe cut straight over, and then everybody else be patient until they come over and get to the starting line. If it takes more than 2 minutes, that's fine. Okay, we're not going any faster than that for sure, all right? It's really important if you're one of the bad guys in the group that you just relax in your space. A lot of times the natural inclination is to inch up on somebody. Just you got to be patient when we get to this big race where you're using other people, okay? Nice job, guys. You guys are fine. Great job, Riley. Great job, Riley. Be careful if you guys pass them, okay? Be careful. It's the only trouble with letting a new guy lead each one. He's feeling fresh. Okay, 2 more, not faster though, right? Okay, here we go.
Where do you think the team is at right now based on the past week of training?
I think pretty good. We all take it pretty easy today and running like 250, 252 by K easily on the grass. I think it's decent. The real workout will be next Friday at Wisconsin. If it goes well, it's great. We'll keep going, and if the race is not great at Visco, then we could adjust a little the training.
$253, jeez. Okay, Noah's gonna take the last one so we don't go too hard? Okay. Sorry. Okay, just staying safe. Watch your footing. That's the only thing that could do us in right now.
Last one, boys. 3, 2, 1.
Great job, Noah. Great job, Noah. Great job. Way to be, guys. 251. Jesus. Oh, that's a 28:35 guy. I guess he, or 28:34 guy. I guess he should be able to run a 251, but oh well. We'll take it. I've never said this before. No, it's too fast. Nice job, dude. Great job, guys. Great job. You good?
Yeah, very
We're gonna get you in shape here in a little bit, Stuart. What was the last one? Okay, great job, man. You look great. Great job. We good?
Had to control him.
Yeah, that's fine. Great. Great workout.
That was 259.
Yeah, I got it.
It was pretty good. You know, with some workouts you just need to finish, and some other you need to crush. Today it was just like a workout you need to finish. Like, yeah, it was good.
How was the workout today?
I thought it was great. You know, I don't get too uptight about workouts normally, except for like the last workout before the race, you know. And if we have people not feeling good in that workout, then you start sweating it a little bit. So I thought everybody ran controlled, hard, stayed together, kind of almost exactly what I wanted, a little bit faster than I wanted even. So mainly it means that we survived and we're going to be fine next week. If you would have seen 3 guys off the back or a couple guys bailing out early, then you could start questioning what's this group going to do. But when I see guys running fairly hard on a kind of a slowish course, under control, working together, that just means we're going to be fine next week. Everybody here today did the whole workout except for one guy, and he did 7 instead of 8. So just another really good week of work. Most of these guys are hitting 100 miles this week, and then they'll go a little lighter next week. And next week is not the national meet. Next week is an important week, but it's not the goal. We're going to just go run solid. And if you go to this meet and run solid, you're going to get some points, and you're fine. You don't have to get uptight about this. You just go run hard, and then leave and get back to work.
We're back here at the 2018 NCAA Division I Cross Country Championships at the Thomas Zimmer Championship Cross Country course. You guys just got to watch a little bit of New Mexico and the third-ranked Portland Pilots get ready for this championship event. And we had Abby DiAgostino join us to talk women, but now I'd like to introduce our next guest, 11-time All-American and 2-time Canadian Olympian, Canadian record holder in multiple events, and a team champion here in 2011 for the home team, Wisconsin Badgers.
That's right.
Mr. Mo Ahmed. How you doing, Mo? Great to have you on the show.
Glad to be here, man. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm excited.
We talked on top of the show, 40 years it's been since the championships have been in Madison, and 14 years in the making to get it here at this course specifically. What's it like for you to be back?
For me, being back on campus, being back on this cross-country course, a lot of fond memories are brought back. And, we were here 2 to 3 times a week doing workouts. So, yeah, it's kind of surreal to be back here for sure.
You feel like you got to get out there, and
yeah.
Coach is waiting for you.
Yeah, no, Mick was joking around about that. He's like, man, I wish we had you on the cross country course, and I was like, man, I would have loved to be back. So, yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
What is it like coming here, not just for the meet, but having your alma mater be in contention for a team title or podium spot, or Morgan with individual win? What's it like having like a skin in the game in a way to get to see a team that you most want to win actually have a chance?
Absolutely. It's very exciting. You saw Wisconsin kind of struggle the last 3 years. We had a couple of streaks that were broken. The Big Ten streak that was, I think, like 14 years in a row. And I think, the longest qualifying streak for NCAA. So, a lot of the alums, were like, what's going on, And so it's kind of strange to see that, but it's good to see them back. And you see Morgan, he's in contention, individual title. Potentially we'll have Mick Burns' first individual cross country champion, and yeah, it's definitely exciting. And, you know, a lot of that, we had a big badge reunion of all the teams, the 82, 80, 85, 88, you know, the 2005, 2011 teams, and all the alum back last night. So everybody was really excited. So
You have the years you guys won very well memorized. You know?
Oh yeah, it's a tradition. You know, you gotta keep it right up here. So yeah.
Mo, every cross-country course has unique characteristics and unique features, and at every level of the sport, competitors are trying to get the inside scoop. Oh, this is the course with a bunch of hills, or this is the course with that really crazy finish. When someone asks you about this course, what's the brief synopsis that you give them?
There's a bunch of hills. It's a very sturdy course. I think I've never run it with snow on top of it, so I couldn't tell you how that affects it. But it seems like they've changed the course. I ran an 8K here, Big Tens. I ran a couple times at the Nuttycombe Invitational, and there's not a lot of that finger loop. And I felt like the hardest part of the course might have actually been the finger loops, the in and outs kind of. Because it kind of slows down, it's a little bit of a jamming effect and a fartlek effect. Here it kind of opens up the two big loops, opens up the race quite well. So, I think it'll be tough. I think that it's 10K and it'll be tough. Yeah.
Does this style of race and this weather together favor a specific type of runner?
I think the Midwest folks should be doing really well. But you see,
Those
NAU.
Canadians.
Yeah, the Canadians. yeah. You're gonna see Charlotte Prowse on the women's side do really well. I think a lot of the Midwest, the Mountain Boys, NAU, BYU, they train in this kind of conditions all year round. Wisconsin is probably like licking their chops, saying, "Hey, this is our course." It affects the. The course looks different. So, but they know it's like the same hills. It's going to be the same everything. So, yeah.
Last thing I got for you, Mo, the big reunion. There's 200 to 300 people here. I was told from past Wisconsin teams on men's and women's side.
Yeah.
Of the teams that you were mentioning, Gordon, who've won, who says we were the best?
Ooh, I don't think anything like that happened. But I would definitely say, the 2005 teams were probably some of the most talented athletes. Simon Byu, Chris Zielinski, Tagenkamp. I mean, you have multiple Olympians in there, World Championship finalists. So, in my opinion, they're probably the best team. And so, yeah.
All right.
2011 number two?
2000.
Ooh, I mean, the 82, 85 teams, I don't know which one, they won it in the snow. I don't know if we could have done it in Terre Haute.
Mo is a humble guy. So we're gonna talk to Mo and the crew here about more insights on this men's team and individual race. But before we do, let's take a look back at this 2018 season for the men and see how we got here today.
Here we go. This is the men's 8K, and they are off.
The road to the Natty goes through Nutty here in Madison. Morgan McDonald has left everybody else behind him.
And that was a move of a man who knows the course.
I mean, he can put it away right now.
Keep coming, baby.
Morgan McDonald is going to win the 2018 Nuttycombe Invitational. NAU
Good job.
puts 4 in the freaking top 10. Without Max Baxter, NAU is on a mission for a three-peat.
And there's the gun here. Kick is on.
Wow, Linkletter with a late burst there takes the victory.
Shows off the guns, too. He came out of nowhere.
We were really racing against ourselves today, just trying to figure out what kind of team we want to be this year. And I think we showed what we're capable of.
So a dominating performance as expected, just 29 points for BYU. Yeah, you can see it starting to hurt now as the pace has really gotten going.
We got 4 here in the final home stretch. Baxter and Fisher, and here comes Fisher. Fisher now makes another move.
I thought I had it when I made the move, and then I went way too early.
41 points, and there's the answer. What can they do with Matthew Baxter back in the lineup? Score even less points.
And indeed, Roberts will take the individual title.
And they are off.
The hammer, though, has just been dropped.
That is Edwin Kurgat winning his first Big 12 cross-country title.
I truly think Oliver Horr is putting the hurt on McDonald, and McDonald is flying trying to catch up. This is going to be a great final sprint up a 200-meter hill.
McDonald timed it perfectly as Wisconsin goes 1-2.
Number 4, Wisconsin, looking to ride their momentum from the Big Ten championships. And about a K or so to go, but you can see there is the chase back. And that gap is really closing. We now have 6 chasing him down. And there goes Carpenter. Carpenter is going to get the win in this as Kendall doesn't have enough left. Wisconsin Badgers, they held back in the opening 5K. And look at that, places 5, 6, and 7. Wisconsin, 49, 5 within the top 17.
And they're off. The headline here is the BYU men going toe-to-toe with the NAU men, and that's a scary sight right there. 4 NAU runners all very close to each other. Looks like Joe Clicker is going to be able to do it, get the individual title, and is going to be quickly followed by the two-headed dragon from NAU. Taking the win today, Northern Arizona over BYU and Colorado.
As the gun is up, and we are away in Sacramento, 10,000 meters to decide who the final teams are going to the 2018 NCAA National Championships. Here's Nick Hagar of Portland as he races down to the finish line. He laid back early, now he's getting a chance to take in the scenery, points to the camera. He knows he's live, he knows he's winning this West region, he feels great. I'm signing off. We'll talk to you guys in 8 days in Madison.
All right, back with the Flow XC Race Day presented by Under Armour after a great recap of this 2018 season. A lot of great storylines to be talked about here. You have the NAU men trying to go for their 3rd in a row. BYU coming off of some disappointment last year, maybe trying to upset them. We'll talk about these things and that individual battle. A lot of people have been eyeing Grant Fisher from Stanford and Morgan McDonald from the home team here, Wisconsin. So a lot of questions, just like on the women's side, to be answered. And guys, we're going to talk dying questions that you have about this race. Gordon, we'll start with you.
My dying question is, will it come down to just McDonald and Fisher? We've been talking Team Fisher, Team McDonald. Everyone is thinking these are the 2. But is there a chance that it won't come down to those 2? Will it just be those 2 at the final? Will there be NAU guys in there? Will it be someone from Eastern Kentucky or from Portland or from Campbell? That's what I'm interested to find out. Will it come down to just those 2 star track runners in Fisher and McDonald?
Yeah, my dying question has to do with the team race. Can BYU get some top finishers? Last year, they were disappointing 3rd. They came in thinking they could contend. Their top runner was only 24th. Ever since this field expanded to the current state of 31 teams, 1998, every team champions had at least one person in the top 10. We got one right there who was in the top 10 in 2011. BYU, they have an awesome pack, but that pack needs to be in the 10s, in the low teens for them to give a scare to NAU.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Mo, how about you?
My dying question is what type of tactics do Baxter and Day employ, and how that affects Peter Lamong. Personally, I think he's probably their most talented athlete naturally. That's not disrespect to Day or Baxter, but like we saw that like Smith, Coach Smith opted to sit him out a couple times. Was there injury involved there? Is he kind of slowly getting back into it? And if he really have aspirations to kind of do what he did last year, be in the top 10, does the hot pace kind of affect him a little bit? Yeah. So I'm really keen on seeing, what type of how he moves with the early pace.
Yeah, when you're 8th there for NAU last year, your only hope is to go up, probably, right?
Yeah, so he's the 4th returner.
Fourth returner in the meet. So, my question would be, how does this weather impact things? I think the temperatures are, it was around 30 degrees. The wind's not too bad, but the snow. How does that affect the footing and how quick some of these guys can get out? Day and Baxter are guys that hammered last year early. Does that change the tactics and also just mentally for folks out there? You wake up, you see the snow, you haven't raced. Many people haven't raced in snow maybe ever.
Yeah.
So really, I think it's more of kind of almost a mental game at this point and not letting it affect you. So I'm excited to see how that does shake things up and maybe some unexpected things happen.
Mo and I were talking a couple minutes ago. If you had to choose, you'd rather be the women's race if you're going to run in snow because you want to run when it's clean. It's going to get muddy and sloppy by the time the men come on this course.
Yeah.
Well, on the women's side, we talked about New Mexico and their potential opportunity at forming this dynasty, and Northern Arizona on the men's side in a similar boat, except they're trying to go for their third title in a row, which is not an easy task. Guys, will it happen? Is this a dynasty? If it does happen, what's the outlook?
I think you look at the past results since 2014. This has been a dynasty plan in a way. They make the podium in 2014, and instead of trying to make the podium again, they redshirt Futsum Selassie. They don't make the meet in 2015. If we would have thought that decision to redshirt the top guys in 2015 would turn into 3 years later a chance to become a dynasty and win 3 in a row, it's a genius of strategy to really put all their eggs in the 2016 basket that then just reaps rewards in 2017, ultimately here as they're the number 1 ranked team in 2018.
A thanks you got to still give to Eric Hines a little bit, too, the former coach.
Absolutely. Well, since Arkansas three-peated in 98 to 2000, 3 teams have been in their position, and 3 teams haven't been able to three-peat. So I think within the context of today's NCAA system, you'd have to define it as a dynasty, and it goes beyond championship meets. They haven't lost any meet where they run a varsity team since 2015. The 2015 season was the last time they dropped a meet. And a lot of coaches will shy away from comparing teams. Mike Smith leaned into it. He said the 2017 team was better than the 2016 team, and the 2018 team is better than the 2017 team. And you look at their lineup there, that's a rock-solid 7. There's no question about who their 7 are. They're fully plugged in, dialed in, going for number 3 today.
I think you guys stopped a dynasty in the making one year. Oklahoma State, they were trying to go for 3 in a row. They won 3 out of 4 years, but couldn't quite get that 2011 race.
Yeah, we got him there one year. Sorry, German Fernandez, my boy. That Oklahoma State team was a dynasty, and it was, I think, like you said, it was a long time in the making. I think they finished 3rd, 4th, 5th, definitely finally got 2, and we're going for their 3rd, and we got them there, and they got us back the next year. Definitely, I think NAU is a dynasty for sure, and it goes beyond that even. You have Olympians in that program. You have if you really look at the type of recruits that they're getting a lot. Some of the top ranked high schoolers. So it's a school that people are very keen on, and I'm sure it's going to live on for a while.
Yeah, they were a team on the verge for many years. David McNeil back in the day, Lopez Lamong was on that team.
Diego Estrada.
Yeah. So they've come a long way to really stay consistent in that podium hunt, and now just have turned that corner the last couple years. And hey, non-Power 5 school. Coming in here and showing the big guys like the Wisconsin boys what's up. So you gotta keep that in mind.
Yeah.
But out here today, there's a number of other teams, 5 or 6 teams that will target as potential contenders for the podium and for upsets against Wisconsin, at Wisconsin here against NAU. So guys, just like we did with the women's, we're going to buy or sell some teams here. And the first one we're going to look at, the pre-Nats champ. They're the West Coast Conference champ. They were 2nd in the Mountain Region. And 3rd place, it was a disappointing 3rd place, but still on the podium a year ago. The BYU Cougars. Are we buying or selling?
Go first.
I'm buying. I like the fact that this year they are completely and solely focused on themselves. They're not worried about outside distractions. At least that's what you hear when you talk to their top runners and their coach. And the fact that they got here and fell short, only going to make them stronger. It's going to be tough to beat NAU. Let's be completely honest. But I think the fact that this is not new for them, they return a lot of the same guys as last year. I like their chances. I like their chances if things go a little bit crazy in the snow.
It makes sense that BYU's just misspelling the word buy. So I'm BYU.
Why?
BYU. Buy BYU.
Buy YU.
Buy YU.
There you go.
Then you got to buy them. They returned pretty much their entire team from last year, except for Casey Klinger, replaced him with Connor Mance, and Northern Arizona is rubbing it in their face in a way. They're not on purpose, but their success is definitely going to be like, we got to stop this. We can't let them gloat. We can't let Matt Baxter gloat for the rest of his life as never losing in his entire collegiate career. So.
Absolutely.
Mo?
I'm also buying. I think redemption is a big thing, is a key for that team. They wanted it last year, and I think they had one guy in the top 20 or something like that. So you had Rory kind of fall, and he was confidently tweeting afterwards, saying how he was never going to let that happen again. And he's been running pretty well. He won out here at the beginning of the season. So yeah, vengeance is key for that team. So I think if they pull it out, I think that's what will be to their benefit.
All right, 3 byes for BYU. Next up, the third at Nuttycombe. They were second here a year ago. A big jump up on that podium, and a team that's been kind of building up, kind of like NAU was before they were consistent on that podium. They're led by senior Nick Hogger. We're Portland Pilots, guys. Are we buying? Are we selling?
I am selling Portland, and it's surrounded by question marks. Because if you're going to buy or sell something, you need to know what it is you're buying or selling. And they've switched their lineup all the time. They debuted a top runner at regionals. I know they overperformed last year, but to get all the way to the top is really, really tough. A lot of question marks. I'm going to sell Portland.
I'm going to quote their head coach.
That's not buy or sell.
Their head coach, he has said to me, we have no chance. If the head coach says you have no chance, you buy because he's lying. I'm buying Portland because I think Rob Connor knows something that we don't. When he says we have no chance, he likes being the underdog, and, I'm buying. Portland, I'm buying them.
Yeah, I think this is, residence bias over here, but I'm buying it.
Resident bias.
Yeah, and also I think Woody Kincaid, one of my teammates, wouldn't let me down. I think they have depth. You have Nick, who's leading that team. Not a very highly touted guy, but he comes from Spokane, a hotbed of cross-country talent over the last couple of years, and he's been running really well. So in order for them to do really well, he needs to perform and probably be in contention for the win, top 5. I'm buying that team, and I think it's probably because of the depth. Yeah.
As we fire through these next couple, first, the Pac-12 champs, 4th at the West Region after a conservative run. They were 5th here, just off the podium last year, led by Grant Fisher, one of the individual contenders, Stanford men. We buying, we selling?
I'm selling. If you could clone Grant Fisher, I'm 100% buying, and the S in sell stands for Stephen Fahey. If he was here and running, NCAA All-American in cross and in the steeple, one of the best runners in the nation, but he is not running. They don't have enough depth.
I am selling, but I also want you to take a look at my S artwork for the Stanford logo. That's all I want to do. I just want to use sell because I want to use the S in the artwork. But you got to sell. I'm buying them podium, man. They're the only team that has podium the past 4 years. And so they're the only they are the only ones to make the podium final 4 years, and I think they're going to keep it going. Okay. Not even any of you can say that.
Mo,
yeah,
you saving your money for the next pick, maybe?
I'm selling as well. I think a little bit of depth is going to be their problem a little bit, and but I think if Fisher does really well, and he really handles that hot pace well, and some of the NAU boys suffer a little bit, maybe Morgan, maybe Oliver Orr of Wisconsin, Nick Hager, if those guys suffer, and some of those the second, third guy really key off of that, I think they could do really well, but, they lack a little bit of depth for me.
Sell for now.
Yeah.
So next team, the home team, second at Nuttycombe, Big Ten champs, Great Lake champs in the region. They didn't make the meet last year, but now they're vying for that podium spot and led by Morgan McDonald, Wisconsin. Mo, I'm going to start with Mo.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to start with the home guy here.
I wonder what he's doing.
Mo, he's breaking out the wallet.
He wrote it in cheese.
Yeah, that's right. I'm buying my boys. They seemed. I did a 50-minute run with them the other day, and they seemed very chill and relaxed. I think it comes down for them. It comes down to, Morgan showing up, doing what he does. Finishing in the top 2. Winning it, and I think Oliver Orr he needs to perform really well, and Olin Hacker, I think he has the talent to be a top 10 guy. He's coming off of injury a little bit, so the reason why I don't think he'll probably be in the top 10 is because I think it's that slow start, but I think he should definitely be a top American, top All-American up there, and if he does that, and Ben Eichenshank does well, they should do really well. And this is their home course. And
it is. Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm selling. They got no fifth. They don't have a fifth. I'm selling.
I'm buying if Mo brought his spikes. Did you bring your spikes?
I did, but
you already ran this morning, so you're.
I'm a bit fatigued. I did a workout 2 days ago, so
I will say a top 3 like they have works wonders on the team score. When you have Morgan, when you have Ollie, and when you have Olin, we saw that at Nuttycombe. It's just a matter of 4 and 5. But if Mo didn't bring his spikes, I got to change this. All right.
Last team, 4th at Nuttycombe, the Big 12 champs and the Midwest champs. They were 7th last year, led by Edwin Kurgat, the Big 12 champion. Iowa State guys, buy, sell.
I am buying in 2019.
This is another layaway.
Yeah, no, they are so good. They only have one senior. Kurgat, Festus Legat are going to be both top 10 guys next year. Kurgat's top 5 guy this year. And then Andrew Jordan's a junior. They got 2 good freshmen. Got to buy in 2019.
I'm selling because this is 2018.
All right. Well, I'm thinking 2 steps ahead.
I'm buying. I think they have good depth. The Midwest team. So this is not really going to phase them. So
they're ready for it.
Yeah, I think they're ready for it, and this is something that's not unfamiliar. So they'll be good.
All right, there you go. That's it. That's the team insight. And now I want to know, guys, a little bit about the individuals. And Mo, I'm going to ask you to look at the blind resume up here for some of these runners. If anything stand out at this point in the season, or you want to be looking at PRs, their earlier season results, or where they've been recently.
I think a combination of all of that. I think. Do you want me to guess this? Or?
Yeah. Who do you like? Of those 4, far left, far right, middle, 1, 2, 3, or 4.
2 I like.
2. Who's number 2? Should we show it?
Yeah,
Let's
I
show
say.
it.
I think he knew the hair.
The hair gave it away.
The hair gave it away, I think. That 13, 15 there stands out a bit, and I think when you kind of have that kind of time out there, that's a good time right there. So.
And he's fresh. He didn't run last year.
Yeah.
So
He didn't. But, yeah, so you saw Grant Fisher, Morgan McDonald, Matt Baxter, Edwin Kurgat, we mentioned for Iowa State. Any name that you'd say to look out for not on there?
I mean, Tyler Day is perpetually underrated, and that's a byproduct of being on a great team, and it's a byproduct of running with
you got to pick
Baxter.
like one NAU guy.
Right,
so
but they're always in tandem, right? There's one always next to the other. They do interviews together. They run races together. I mean, 3rd last year. And also James Segura, Eastern Kentucky redshirt freshman, 4th at Nuttycombe. He's a guy on the come-up. Ran Commonwealth Games for Rwanda. Keep an eye on him.
Good.
I mean, I like to say, I think there aren't any other favorites. I think the favorites are already on that screen. I think not just that. I think it's just Fisher and McDonald. I really don't think that someone else is going to break those 2 up. I think they're going to go 1, 2. I'm not sure the order, but I think it's their race, and then everyone else is chasing. They're the Woods, Mickelson, and then everyone else is
And it's funny because we say, is there going to be anyone else? I believe we're going to see a lot of people there with 300 to go, but when we're saying will there be anyone else contending with them, it's going to be really that final kick. So with that said, the up-and-comers, the next blind resume candidates are the freshmen. The newcomers to this meet. Guys, some of the top freshmen out there this year running well, maybe some All-American contenders. What do you see?
Isai Rodriguez, a redshirt freshman from Oklahoma State, ran really well outdoors, but this is his first cross season, was injured last year, pushed Edwin Kurgat a bit in the Big 12 and then also in Midwest, so keep an eye on him. Connor Mance, BYU, redshirted, has taken 2 years for a mission, so this is actually his 4th year. He's another one who runs like his hair is on fire. We saw him at pre-nat surging all over the place. His teammates and his coach are really interested in his racing style. 6th at Mountain. He's one of their top guys, Connor Mance.
I'm looking at Jacob Mccloud of Belmont. No one is talking about this kid. He was 28th, top 30 at pre-nats. That's no joke as a freshman. He was runner-up at this conference championship behind James Segura, who's a favorite to get top 5. And he was 2nd in the South Regional behind Alfred Chilango. So he's putting in good performances in a small school like Belmont as a true freshman, a guy like what Mccloud's doing. And then also George Cush. This kid, man. Maybe he's a fresh frosh this season, but we're going to really see him go crazy in the indoors campaign because he's a strong miler. Again, he was top 3 at Big 10, top 4 at Midwest Regional. He was top 25 at the pre-nats. So George Cush, got to look for him from Nebraska, all the way from South Africa to Nebraska. He's my fresh frosh. to look an eye on.
Mo,
Beautiful.
I'd like to ask you, what do you feel is the key for a freshman to be successful at this meet? What's the key?
I think smart racing, not overthinking it a little bit. You know, the crowd kind of, you know, the size of the field can kind of affect you a little bit. So long as you stay even-keeled and get out properly, and even if you don't get out, you don't panic, and you slowly move up the, the pack, you should have a good finish.
Nice.
So, yeah, I think I went out in the 100th my freshman year and had a huge negative split and finished 30th. So, you know, you just you can't panic.
Yeah, stay calm. Stay calm out there.
Yep.
Well, a lot of racing to watch today, and for those of you that aren't able to join us in Madison, you know, you get to watch from the comfort of your own home or computer, you know, and we take it for granted sometimes. You're sitting there watching, but there's a lot of work that goes into producing cross country. Our team at Flow Sports and specifically at FloTrack have made huge strides in the last few years to bring you guys a great broadcast, and we're fortunate enough to go behind the scenes with them this year and give you an inside look on how they produce what you're about to see today. So let's take a look.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're live.
Okay, I'm gonna take that. Yep. Yeah. Trade. All right, Brad, you ready?
Yeah, are we walking out there?
Yep.
Awesome.
Hope you're ready to see
I'm always.
what we're getting into. I think cross country is so difficult just because I feel like no one's stupid enough to do it.
Cross country is a beast. This is out in the open. We are building from scratch, more so than any other event that we do.
For day one, usually when we get here, obviously we get all of our equipment.
For cross country, we get somewhere around 19 cases, and that's definitely on the high side.
We're going through inventory, making sure we got all the items that we're supposed to have.
We're taking these flags to go mark the course where we're going to put our cameras. For this meet, we're going to have 7 cameras. The other shot I really liked from this spot was a nice wide shot right here. Coming out, that's a split point. So we'd put a graphic on the lower left and hold that shot.
We focus on the first day on just running cables. That's going to be our main priority.
That usually takes about 3 to 4 hours to run what is generally 8,000 to 10,000 feet of fiber cable.
We have to cross either walkways or the course itself, so we have to actually bury the cable. It is manual labor more so than anything else that we do.
For day 2, after all of our cables are run, we start prepping the cameras to go out, and then we go out and we test them and kind of give like a 360 pan around to give us a frame of reference of what that camera sees, so that we can better relay that to our camera operators when they show up on show day.
This is actually our longest setup that we do out of the several hundred events we do throughout the year. Cross country is a 2-day setup, and it's one of our shortest events that we actually cover. We spend over 30-something hours of setting up for a maybe 5-hour show. Day 3 is show day, which is always a lot of fun because that's everything that we've been building up to, but is also kind of high anxiety, high pressure, high stakes. We are live.
Generally, we like to get here at the crack of dawn as early as possible. Every minute counts.
Morning of the meet, it's controlled chaos to say the least.
When we get here, our first priority is to get the camera set up. The cart's going to turn off pretty much at your home stretch, so you're our guy,
We're basically resetting up. Short of having to run the cables themselves, none of that can stay out overnight. Again, we're dealing with nature and elements and all of that, so we're just setting up everything and getting ready to start the show.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're live.
Welcome to the 2018 Wisconsin Pre-National Invitational here in Madison, Wisconsin. I'm Gordon Mack. I'm here with Kevin Selly and Lincoln Shrike.
Nuttycombe teams like New Mexico that didn't get the win there. We'll see if they can bounce back this week.
NAU gets Matt Baxter back. I mean, I don't know what else you can say about them. They dominated here at Nuttycombe.
Baxter's back.
Time for a quick break. We'll catch you on the opposite side of the hour. 10:30, first race. Watch it. Bye.
Rich, you are live. Just start zooming out, start pulling out with that.
So during show day, there's a lot of moving pieces. There's a lot of roles that we have. What I do is I do the line cut, which I'm in charge of directing and talking to each of the 6 cameras that are out on the course.
Make that red shirt the last guy in your shot. Yeah, perfect. Follow that. NAU's dominating as per usual.
And I'm just making sure that our race coverage is as good as possible in a world without a cart cam.
Keep pulling, keep pulling, keep pulling.
Arkansas is beating Oregon at the 4K split unofficially, as you see the results there on the left side of your screen coming in.
So CJ will be producing the line cut. I get that final feed, and I mix that with the cart camera with our graphics.
Zoom out, zoom out, zoom out, zoom out. Hold that, Mike.
Whatever Brad is putting in his program is the final result, and that's what the viewer at home is seeing.
Jessica Hull, she can peek at the finish line now.
It's a unique environment because we kind of are playing off each other, but I'm the one who polishes up everything.
Oh, whoa. Easy, Rich. Just stay on that.
Ensures the graphics are right, the timing's in, and kind of gets that flow of the story of each race.
The next thing I have is a lower third to introduce the Cardinal race, just so if you want to clear this first and let me know, or if you want me to just do that straight on.
Then we also have Liz, who does the graphics for this event.
Your winner lower third is in.
Awesome, thank you.
Awesome job, guys. We are now halfway done. 3 more races. They're going to come around that corner, and they're going to come at you, and then they're going to do the whole U-turn around you. Stand by 4. Take 4. Oh, I was on 4. 4 is live.
While we use the cart camera quite a bit, we try to also use our main cameras out there because that kind of gives a clearer kind of picture for the audience at home, distances, and if you're strictly watching a cart camera, you may only see the leaders and you may not see that team aspect, which is so important of cross country.
And okay, now we get word that their 5th runner is in 48th, so they have a score of 73 right now, which is much better than Stanford's 113.
And just nice and slow to get to your split shot a little bit more.
There's a big reason why long distance running is not live streamed from at least the magnitude we've been doing for the past couple of years, and it's because it's difficult.
Okay, so I think green is down. So can we take that green cable and can we switch it to blue? I got it back. Success. And Jeff, nod your camera up and down. Can you hear me? Awesome. All right, here we go.
Let's go, Maria!
So all in all, there's about, I think, 17 of us on this event for the whole production team.
The goal of this is that you don't actually know how many people are involved. You hopefully have no idea that there's 3 people back there running what's ultimately your final program.
Stand by 5. Take 5.
We've come a long way in terms of how well we tell the story of the race.
Okay, start tracking with that, and then push back in to frame up that chase pack with the front pack. Mike and Kevin, get ready for your home stretch shots.
Not just showing, a leader for 6,000 meters across a track. We're showing who's in 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th place.
Wow, a lot of BYU guys, though.
There's Chris Ollie with the lead, but Linkletter now! Wow, Linkletter with a late burst there takes the victory.
Shows off the guns, too.
We're trying to tell the story, get the fan engaged, and we're delivering a product that, we want to be proud of.
We're back at Flow XC Race Day, presented by Under Armour, and we have the whole crew up here, Kevin, Gordon, Mo, Abby, myself, and it's time to talk picks. You got to put it on the line, who you think's going to come out victorious on the podium today. But before we do that, we're going to talk sleepers. We've talked a lot about the favorites, but I want to talk about the people we that no one's maybe talking about right now. And Kevin, why don't we start with you?
Let's start with Alfred Chilango of Alabama. You know, we started the year talking about the three-headed monster from Alabama with Kiprop and Keegan. They both decided to redshirt. Alfred Chilango is all by himself in this race, and that might help. Maybe he's going to go rogue, run really quick. He was second at the South, so keep an eye on Alfred Chilango. Crazy fast 10K PR too, 28:04.
My sleeper has got to be not just an individual sleeper, but his team is a sleeper as well, in my opinion. Got to go with Nick Hogger, the leader of the Portland Pilots. The guy has been on fire. He took down all the BYU guys at altitude at BYU's home course at the West Coast Conference Championships. Then he goes on to win the West Regional. Nick Hogger, he's going to be, I mean, I know I keep on saying it's going to be a Fish or McDonald's show, but if Hogger shows up, anything can happen, yeah?
Yeah, my sleeper is Oliver Orr.
You know,
no
15,
bias. 1500 meter NCAA champ. You know, he looks confident out there, and I think I'm a little worried how he handles the 10,000 meters. You know, I think at Big Tens in the 8K he did pretty well. We'll see how he handles that extra 2K, but you know, he looks confident out there. So yeah.
Gotta like it.
Yep.
Abby, how about you?
For sleeper, I'm going with Elise Cranny, fifth-year senior at Stanford. She was fourth at the West Regional, third at Pac-12s. I feel like she's just always in the mix. You know, she's consistent. She's also coming back from quite a few seasons of injury, and just kind of hearing her interviews, it sounds like she's just stoked to be out there and healthy and leading her team. You know, she feels like she, I think, wants to make that powerful stamp on her legacy with this final season. So we'll see what she has today.
For my sleeper, I'm gonna go on the women's side as well, and I feel like she's not even really a sleeper, but she wasn't on the blind resume, so I'm going with her. Danny Jones from Colorado. She was 10th last year at this meet. If this race is conservative and she's in the mix and over the last half-mile K, her kick is lethal, and I think she's going to be a force to be reckoned with out there. So I'll go Danny Jones.
It's a good sleeper. That's a really good sleeper. I mean, she's
not a sleeper.
She's awake.
She's been awake since she won a national title. You can't put a
multiple national titles.
I mean, I'll let Mo slide because that's 1,500 going to 10,000. Danny Jones,
come on. All right, well, guys, I want predictions, and I want individual predictions. We just talked about a couple of the sleepers to maybe upset in the top three. But Kevin, give me your win. We'll start with women's.
Yeah.
Top three on the individual side.
You mentioned a conservative pace in the women's race. That's not going to happen because Wayne Kaladi's not going to let it happen. This snow is going to be on fire. She's going to go out hard. She takes it. She avenges her loss earlier this year to Alicia Monson. Monson hangs on for second. And Danny Jones, your sleeper, gets third.
I like yours, but I don't like the Monson pick because I think Edna Kurgat, she is the defending champion. She's going to get top three. So I'm going Kaladi, Kurgat, and then Danny Jones, the sleeper.
Yeah, I'm going Kaladi, Munson, Kurgat. You know, there's lots. I mean, Munson, you know, this is her home course. She won it here at the Nuttycombe Invitational. You know what? She's been running really well, and she seems you know, very confident. And Kurgat and Kaladi, you know, a lot of team ramifications are in line, so they need to perform really well. So I think that's gonna propel them really well. So
I'm keeping the momentum going on the Kaladi Monson 1-2, and then Alio for number 3. I just think that again, she's timed it right, and she just looked hungry, just finishing that regional. I think she's ready to go.
I gotta match your picks there, Abby. I'm going to go Kaladi. I think that's a unanimous Kaladi, which for those out there tells you how heavy of a favorite she is. Monson, she's at home. There's a lot of special things, a lot of family. She's from a small town in Wisconsin, so I like that. And Alio, she's been here. She's going to be up in the mix. So, but on the men's side, Kevin, who do you got?
McDonald, Fisher, Baxter, 1, 2, 3. The last time these three ran together in a cross-country race 2 years ago, Fisher 5th, McDonald 7th, Baxter 11th. Only a second half between McDonald and Fisher. I think he has enough here. I think he's going to have more closing speed, and I think NAU is going to set a hard pace, thin out the field. He's going to do no leading. Grant Fisher's going to do no leading, and it's going to come down to this final straightaway, and I think McDonald's just going to have enough.
If Fisher got 5th, McDonald got 7th, and Baxter got 11th in 2016. You know what they say? History repeats itself. It's going to be Fisher, McDonald, Baxter. That is my pick.
Awesome. I'm going with Morgan, Fisher, Baxter. Morgan, you know, he decided, he opted to redshirt last year because he knew the NCAAs were coming home, and he wanted to deliver a national title in front of the home crowd and, you know, be Mick Burns' first individual cross-country title winner. And so I think he's going to get it. So.
I'm going mixing things up, getting a little crazy over here. Going Baxter, Kurgat. No one's mentioned Kurgat, Iowa State. I just think that he's ready to go. He seems really calculated, and you know, Baxter with I think he's going for the double whammy, the individual and team title there, and then Fisher will come up number 3.
All right. Well, I'm going with Fisher as my champ. I'm going Fisher, McDonald from the home team, and then I'm going Baxter. And again, that Baxter Day thing, I feel bad for Tyler. Baxter.
It's just a B because it's for D, so we just say his name first.
But listening to Fisher in the press conference yesterday, he didn't make the move last year to go with the leaders and have a chance at a title, and he's been thinking about that for 365 days. He doesn't let it happen today, and he's going to be up there. So, guys, individuals in the books. You're putting it out there, and you got to do it again now. Teams. Women's teams. Defending champs. Will they repeat? Will they be defeated?
Well, one name we didn't mention individually is Jessica Hall. And I don't think she's going to win individually, but she's going to lead that Oregon group. And I like the fact that 1 through 5 spread is so tight. You have 2 women coming back, the San Francisco transfers, who were 5th and 15th last year. They're going to pull through. Oregon's going to get the win, stopping New Mexico. Boise up for 2nd. Highest finish in program history.
First podium in program history.
New Mexico 3rd and Colorado 4th.
Ooh. I'm going with the defending champs, New Mexico. Gotta love Joe Franklin's crew out there. They're not only going to win this year, they're going to win next year. I'm already saying now. But
the dynasty.
The story of the meet is going to be the Villanova women, because I think Villanova are going to get 2nd. No one's talked about them, but they're going to talk about them from now until all the way next year because they got 2 strong freshmen. Rachel MacArthur, she's coming out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. She was an 800-meter runner in high school, and now she's winning Big East, and she didn't win Big East, but like she's coming in the top 2 in the regional at conferences. So Villanova, my number 2. I had Colorado 3 and Oregon 4.
Awesome. I'm going with New Mexico. They're gonna repeat. Arkansas and Oregon, and number 4 probably the Colorado. So,
all right. The repeat.
Yep.
Also going New Mexico for the win. Yeah, I think they're just a force. Then Oregon, Colorado, and Arkansas. I think those teams, their performances throughout the season just speak for themselves, and this time around will be no different.
All right, I guess I'm going with you, Kevin. Oregon.
The sun is out. It's Oregon weather now.
There you go.
West Coast weather.
I got Oregon Ducks taking the win. Colorado 2nd. I love the Arkansas team led by the freshmen in their pack. And then New Mexico, they're going to make that podium, but I think that 5th is going to be too far back. But Oregon, I just feel like they have a lot to prove for themselves, right? They had the coaching change earlier this year pretty suddenly. They restacked that team, have a great leader, and a ton of experience at the top level. So I like the Ducks today.
So we got 3 New Mexico and 2 Oregon.
Ooh.
That's right.
How's it going to shape out for the men? Are we going to have a unanimous Kaladi decision like we saw in the individual women, or any surprises for NAU? That's what I want to know.
The last time I was in an NCAA championship was 2011 in Terre Haute. It was one of those teams that was going for 2 to 3. I picked on that day Oklahoma State to go from 2 to 3. My man Mohamed ruined that when he came across the line. When he came across the line in 5th, I said, "Oh, this is trouble." They stopped Oklahoma State. You'd think I'd learn from history. I have not. I am picking NAU to go for the three-peat. BYU 2nd. Wisconsin 3rd on the strength of those big 3. And then I have Washington.
That's a good pick.
Creeping into 4th. 3 different number 1s over the last 3 races. Andy Powell gets it done, gets on the podium in his first year.
Yeah, Andy Powell again is, and you have Oregon winning it in their first year with the first-year coach in Helen Lehman-Winter-Smith. So that's a lot of first-year coaches doing well in your rankings. Well, what do you think?
I think NAU, they got depth. The snow is not going to phase them. They're going to win. Wisco is going to do really, really well, I think. But they definitely need big performances from Olin Hacker and Oliver Orr. And BYU, you know, they're coming back for vengeance, and we'll see what they have. But, you know, like it's very tight race for 2nd to 4th, and NAU is just so deep, and so talented.
Notice how Gordon skipped himself. I think we might have a big reveal coming.
All right, get ready for it.
Beautiful.
I'm also going for the 1-2 NAU BYU. I think it's going to be pretty close. You know, could get exciting. Could come down to a lean to see who comes out on top. And then I'm going Portland guys in Wisconsin. Sorry, Mo. Can't make the podium all the time.
You know, I think that BYU has got a lot to prove from that finish last year, but it's not going to be enough. I think NAU is going to hold on for their third title. BYU will run well second. I'm going to go Wisco third. They're here at home. They're going to get up for a big showing, and then Portland. I just like Rob Connor. I think they're going to be on that podium again.
BYU's getting fourth.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Wisconsin is getting third. And you like Rob Connor?
I do like him.
I love Rob Connor. Portland is going to take down Northern Arizona.
Wow.
Not unanimous.
Bold pick, sir.
I think it's going to have. I think that it's not. Portland's going to have a great day, but I think that 2 of NAU's top 6 are going to have bad days. And for them, a bad day is getting like 20th or 40th. But so it's going to be enough.
Relative.
That's going to be enough.
NAU bad days, they don't go together.
I know.
Those are
It's
not
down,
the same sentence.
If it lands on black every single time, eventually it's going to land on red. And I just think that's what's going to happen.
Unless Tyler Day is throwing at us.
That's true.
Well, everyone, you've been watching our Flow XC Race Day show presented by Under Armour here at the course. You've been watching on Flow. You've been watching on social media. The live races will start in less than 15 minutes, and that will be on FloTrack.com, so make sure to make your way over there to watch the live races. Before you do, guys, I want to ask, any last thoughts before we head out there and watch the stories unfold?
So we made the women's team predictions, but I think it's worth noting how close those 6 are. We don't really enter into a national championship where you could sort of throw a dart at the board and it's going to separate 6 women's teams. It's just really something to behold, and it's really something that's pretty interesting. You don't have that one team that just has no question. So the women's team race being that close together, I think is going to be awesome to watch.
Yeah, you can say there's probably like 30 scenarios on the women's side, but maybe just 2 on the men's side where NAU does their thing or they get upset. Because, yeah, like I said, 6 teams. We have Boise State ranked 6th.
We didn't even mention Michigan.
We didn't mention Michigan.
Really solid, yeah.
And I think that Boise State is going to be, I mean, I didn't pick them, but Boise State being ranked 6th is going to be like, screw that, we're going to win it. Yeah. So you never know.
Yeah, and having run here, both of you at this level and bidding in contention, what last thoughts for you and what these athletes are about to go through?
Yeah, for me, I think that finishing hill is going to be key, and how you tackle that is critical on how you finish that last 50 meters. If you go too soon at the bottom of the hill, you're going to pay for it at the last 50 meters, and we'll see. We'll see how patient people are.
It's go time, man. Their feet need to do the talking now. Let's see it happen.
All right, well, it's about time to get rolling. You guys will see Kevin out at the finish line talking to our winners, our team champs, our individual champs. Gordon, Mo, Abby, myself will be in the booth calling those races. So, again, head over to FloTrack.com to watch those. Enjoy it out there. It's going to be an awesome day of cross country. Don't forget Division III championships in Oshkosh going on in between the races here today. So, ton of things to watch. Enjoy it. Have a great day across country, and we'll see you back here in just a few minutes. Thanks for joining our Flow XC Race Day show presented by Under Armour.